News Talk 580 CFRA. Live local breaking news, weather, and traffic.
It's 1 o'clock. Your update from the CTV Ottawa newsroom starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Callum Fraser. Right now in the capital, we're sitting at 8 degrees and a mix of sun and clouds. Your full forecast is coming up. First, your top stories. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke to the Liberal caucus today following the unveiling of the federal budget. Trudeau says the spending plan is about fairness for every generation, especially millennials and Gen Z.
This is the challenge we need to meet, and our plan will meet this moment.
The budget includes $8.5 billion over 5 years to help build millions of homes. The president of the Public Service Alliance of Canada is calling out the leader of the opposition Conservatives over criticism of the Liberal budget. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre suggested on CFRA this morning that Justin Trudeau is turning on workers to pay off debts, as 5,000 public service jobs will be cut over the next 4 years through attrition. Later in the day, CSAC President Chris Aylward joined CFRA's Ottawa at Work. He says Poilievre's record does not align with him acting like the second coming of Jimmy Hoffa.
He's talking about being, a friend to workers and working people, which is a load of crap, to be quite honest with you, because his record doesn't align with that at all. He's out there going across the country talking about the workers he's speaking with, about the union halls that he's been in. Well, for 19 years in the House of Commons, he never supported working people in this country.
Aylward says he was expecting more than 5,000 jobs to be cut, but it's still concerning. The latest vote on Lansdowne 2.0 has passed at City Council. It voted 19-6 in favor of approving a procurement delivery model for the $419 million project. This also gives the green light for an additional $4 million for design drawings and to cover costs for outside assistance like legal advice. The Lansdowne redevelopment plans include new north side stands at East TD Place and a new indoor entertainment center east of the end zone. And the price of gas in Ottawa could be in for a big hike very soon. Predictor GasWizard.ca says it could jump about 14 or 15 cents tomorrow to nearly $1.80 per liter. Analyst Dan McCaig says this will be the highest price in nearly 2 years.
In case anybody was counting, that's a number we haven't seen, a figure we haven't seen going back to about August the 2nd, 2022.
Expect similar increases in other parts of eastern Ontario and western Quebec. Gas providers are switching to a more expensive summer blend. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletters. Check out the best local content from CTV News, CTV Morning Live, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. From the CTV Weather Center, a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon and 13 degrees. This evening, clouds move in and it'll be around 8 degrees. Overnight down to 7, periods of rain. Tomorrow is more rain and 11, and Friday is showers and 14. Right now, 9 degrees and a mix of sun and clouds. That is the latest from the CTV newsroom. I'm Callum Fraser. News next at 2 o'clock.
The news when you want it.
Your latest local news, weather, and traffic now on the CTV News app.
Or iHeartRadio app. News Talk 580 CFRA.
Live local breaking news, weather, and traffic.
I am by your side. Got a heart so big. On this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart. Picture this. A dock warmed by the sun. Friends share a laugh as they dive in the lake. Behind you, a 2-story cottage nestled in the trees. Is it your imagination? Or is it your possible? Find your possible. Play Lotto 649 for a chance to win the classic jackpot or the gold ball jackpot of $32 million. Buy your ticket today.
Western Red Cedar, pressure treated lumber, today's most popular composites and building materials. Let Perkins Lumber's experts help you pick the right products to suit your job and budget. Perkins Home Building Center, North Gorge, over 85 years of helping you build better. PerkinsLumber.ca. This is News Talk 580 CFRA.
It's the Vassy Capello Show on the iHeartRadio Talk Network.
The people that are driving our economy, millennials and Gen Z, who make up the majority of our workforce already, deserve the same advantages. This is the challenge we need to meet, and our plan will meet this moment. This budget lays out a plan to make sure Canadians can build homes, build companies, build solutions, and make the best country in the world even better. So let's get to it together.
That is Prime Minister Justin Trudeau the day after he and the rest of his government tabled their budget. He is addressing his caucus. That's where that clip comes from. Let's talk about the politics of that budget with our Daily Debrief panel. The Daily Debrief. With me this afternoon, Scott Reid is a CTV News political commentator and former communications director for Prime Minister Paul Martin. Tim Powers is chairman of Summa Strategies and managing director of Abacus Data. And Tom Mulcair is a CTV political analyst and former leader of the NDP. Hi, everybody. Great to have you here. Scott, I'll start with you. From a political perspective, what grade would you give the government on this budget?
From a political perspective, I'd say a B, but I'd give them an A for effort in terms of the roll-up to the budget, and we'll see if they can squeak out a B+ by making the aftermath into the kind of political fight they're looking for. And here's what I mean by that. I didn't think that yesterday was as sharp as I expected it to be. We were on air while you were interviewing the finance minister. I didn't think she really took the fight, if you will, to the Conservatives, and that's what this budget has to be. And yes, it's full of important measures. Yes, it matters substantively. But politically, they've got 15 months to go as a government. They're far behind in the polls. They have to draw the Conservatives into a battle, and that speech from the Prime Minister is a sharper, more pointed example of what they're going to have to do, but they've got to find a way to get Poilievre to accept the bait, to knock him off his carbon tax mantra, and get him into an argument about whether he thinks it's fair to reverse the capital gains inclusion changes they made. What will he do on that front? They've got to get him into that argument. They've got to get him into a fight about what cuts would he make if he thinks the government's spending too much. They've got to get him onto the battlefield, and that's really going to ultimately dictate not just the mark they get on this budget. It's going to determine whether they can make progress prior to the next election.
Tim, do you think that's true, that essentially politically this has to be about creating contrast with the Conservatives?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I don't know how they give up grades in Belleville, but that's pretty generous grading there from Scott. I mean, look, if you look at our public...
Look at me, I got out of school, almost.
Listen, now I know how you got into Queens, okay? It was those inflated grades in Belleville, because if you look at the opinion polls leading in, when Scott talked about the rollout, I'll give them a B for enthusiasm and intent and having fight, but the Canadian public's still giving them a D with a lot of these pre-budget announcements. I mean, we had a 20-point gap in our Abacus poll that ended last week. Now, we'll see in another week if this rollout has changed all of that, because I still think the biggest problem is the messenger. And I don't know if the ship has sailed or not on the messenger. Certainly the government is hoping that that's not the case. But, Chrystia Freeland, again, always said this, exceptionally bright person, but also not an effective messenger. At least we've seen so far. So if the two central messengers can't deliver what they think is going to be the big bribe, if I can be sarcastic about that, to millennials and have them believe it, then all of this is for naught. We'll see. We shall see. I mean, though, on the central things for millennials and the opportunities there, the housing one is fascinating, because sure, there's lots of money there, but the reality with that is going to be, how the hell are they going to get them built en masse in time, in enough time to get credit for it, because we have labor shortages, we have skill shortages. I didn't see much in there that dealt with all of that, but I now want to go back to school in Belleville, so I too can go to Queens.
When it comes to what they need to do politically with the budget, I've sort of heard two things.